computer. Amazing. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world, welcome to the Wealth Through Health podcast. I have Sandy Goldstone here. Thank you so much for your time, Sandy.
Thank you.
I'm really excited for this. We connected, for those who don't know, we connected on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, your story is amazing. What you're doing is incredible. And I'd love to interview you. And I am so excited for this. So I'll give you a quick little intro and then let's rock and roll, as you said. So
beautiful.
So for those who don't know Sandy, she's actually is it emissary of love?
An emissary of love. So emissary. That's my whole, yeah.
That's a good start, Zach. Emissary of love, soulpreneur, expressing through roles of such as spiritual mentor, holistic counselor, speaker, writer, energy intuitive, and artist, business owner of The Heart's Way. Now you can find Sandy at soundsoftheheart.com.au. She's also in Western Australia. And I look forward to seeing you when I come to Perth and see my family and things like that. I grew up in Perth too. And really Sandy's purpose and path is around awakening our heart, awakening the hearts of many. So it's all about liberation of our soul, embodiment of the truth of who and what we truly are, magnificent, powerful beings of divine love, unified as one by the pure light of source. Beautiful. And so in bit more of a detail, Sandy's a counselor. She focuses on so many different areas, whether it's anxiety or depression, at different areas of life. So whether you're starting a health journey or a business journey, or you just need some extra support and you really resonate with Sandy, please reach out with her and get some support as well. So I'd love to just start off, Sandy, like, how did you get into this? And I'd love to hear your story.
Okay. Thank you, Zach. It's so lovely to be here. And shout out to all our beautiful souls who are present here and held in this beautiful embrace of love, which we are. And I guess that's been my inner knowing since I came into this incarnation on the planet, is that we were here to love and to allow ourselves to open up to being that embodiment of love. And so I was brought up in a religious home, but that gave me contact with the beautiful teachings of Jesus, and Jesus became like the main man in my life. Like it's like everyone had to get past that. It's like you're not gonna like enter life. It's like you have to go through that because like the teachings of Jesus showed me like how to live and how to deal with challenge and disappointment and hurt and a sense of failure. It's like and also to keep being open to life and being open to new pathways of expanding into greater ways of loving and being. And so, of course, being brought up in a religion that was more about the mechanisms of control and fear and having that thing of having to earn our right to be received into that all-embracing love and that's unconditional, that doesn't judge. And so that was really my purpose and mission. And I was seen as different as a child. I had a real sensitivity to energy. I could see energy playing out. I could see energy that forms created, and what actually opened us up, what closed us down. I had my first near-death experience at 9. I saw my first dead body at 7. So it's just like I had these encounters with life in a way in which invited me to go deeper into the mystery of that, all that I was seeing wasn't everything that was there. There was so much more that was beyond the perception of seeing. And I could feel that and sense that. I couldn't actually articulate it. I would say to my mum, I can see fairies and connection with the angels and the angelic realm and everything. And I could see that I had clear visions of me being born into this human form and asking to go back home. So for a long time, I felt like this world was not my home. And that's been the journey of my soul, is to really enjoy being in this human form, is to really enjoy being in this play with life and the joy and the bountiful experiences that are available to us, and how we can be our own creators of love and joy and peace. And also what gets in the way of us being able to already just open up to receive who and what we already are, because it's not about efforting. It's not about having to do anything in particular. It's about allowing the falling away of that armoring and that defense mechanisms that we've created with artificial intelligence that is not about who we are, that keeps us in those small prisons of fear, doubt, and insecurity. And also the illusions that when we're going through these shifts and changes, that we're not going to be vulnerable, that we're not going to have our hearts broken, but it's more an opening into a deeper capacity to love what we have judged and labeled as unlovable and shameful and embarrassing and humiliating and all that kind of stuff. Because in life, in love, nothing is hidden. Everything is welcomed home back to that unity consciousness. And that's really something to get really joyous and be like delighted in and celebrate ourselves as.
I love that, Sandy, and I love how you connect all the dots there as well. It is life is most of the reality we live in is around separation, and what you're reminding people of is to come back to love, come back to home, the journey home, you know, that it's that you said. So I love that. So tell us a little bit more about how, you know, if you said so you were in more of a religious structure, what was that like, kind of breaking out of that? And you know, because I know that there's a bit of a battle between like the new age, you know, even the religious dogmatic structures, and then the real teachings of Jesus and the relationship. So like, how do you I guess explain the difference, or how did you handle the difference as you were kind of progressing through life and navigate that? Because I think so many people get confused, distracted, caught in different things, for myself included. You know, I was swimming in the new age, even dogma, you know, it's new age kind of stuff. So yeah, how have you navigated that?
I think it's really interesting how we want to label things to get away from something that we've rejected, and we've gone like, oh, I'm throwing out the baby, you know, the baby with the bathwater and everything. And so it's like, there's nothing new under the sun. It's like, this has come and it will come again. And this is like, so it's like, there's a season for everything. And I guess for me, I was so like just wanted other people to know the joy of their being, their heart's truth, and to not be afraid. And it wasn't something, but yes, I came up against the dogma and the structures and the fundamentalism. And so I went into the ministry because I was that kind of like, that's where spirit led me. And that's where I went through all my, you know, held my feet to the fire of truth in those initiations. Like at college, I was called Gandhi. That's what they nicknamed me as. And I also broke taboos around homosexuality, around suicide, because suicide was a sin. I had 3 friends commit suicide. It was like nothing happened. And so that creates a schizophrenia, a split in your, because you know that that's what's occurred, but you're having to deny that as a reality. And so it's like, well, if love is unconditional and there is no judgment, and we are beings of free will, and life can only bring to us what we believe to be true about ourselves and our connection and place with life. Life is only ever mirroring back to us who we believe ourselves to be, not what life knows us to be and as. So I guess I was like a mirror. And so for some people, they were like, yay, oh my gosh, I can deal with my trauma, my childhood, abuse and everything in a way that allows me to hold myself in that space of grace, of clear seeing, knowing that love is unchanging. So I can do that really deep, scary stuff that the human presence wants to avoid and run away from. And that's okay for us to acknowledge that within ourselves, but to open ourselves up to another possibility. And that's what coming into our hearts reveals to us, that there is a space and place within us that is unchanging, that is always peaceful, that is always loving, that is always aligned with beauty and truth and harmony and joy and prosperity and abundance and life. And until we can make peace with the impermanence of things, death, we cannot actually be at peace and in one with life. We are in avoidance of that which we are wanting to avoid, which we have labeled as death. And we know that everything is impermanent, and that which is of the form, it goes away into the formless, it rises up again into the form, and it goes back into the formless, into the void, into the physical manifestation, but it's always coming from unconditional love and returning to unconditional love. And that purity and wholeness and light and love source that we are. It's exciting. It's something to get really yes, this is who I really am. And how can I just relax and allow that energy to just permeate and live and be present in me, as me, through me, because there's nothing that I need to do. And that's another thing. It's this doing. I have to get here. I have to achieve this. I have to be this. And it's like, no, you are already that. Allow that presence to arise within you and guide you and say, this is what you are here to do. This is your gift. This is your unique soul's blueprint. This is the song that your soul is here to sing.
Yeah, amazing. I just feel so calm and supported when you talk. I think it just comes from such a beautiful place. I can just feel that. So that's so nice. Thank you so much for just for articulating it like that. And I think a lot of the time people put a lot of pressure, or, I can speak for myself, putting pressure on myself sometimes to, for perfection, for keeping things not failing, or just keeping the boat going, and so there's, whether that's external pressure or internal pressure, it's like a bit of a dance, hey, But I think coming back to that place that you're saying is a great reminder, and you're a great example of, yeah, what you're doing is helping people come back to love, and it is joyous, and that's beautiful. Why not? How does it get even better? So the day that a friend of mine and I, we actually went to Tasmania, and during this trip, one of my friends had a demonic possession, and my other friend who we were traveling with, he knew the Bible and he knew scripture. So he used the scripture, and literally my friend who was having a demonic possession, saying different things, hitting himself, in this state of confusion and just total, he just wasn't there. My friend used the Bible scriptures and said, whatever it was. And my friend, we didn't even touch him. He literally went like this, his feet connected as well, and he fell over, and his mouth, and he couldn't talk. And my friend was like, "Who are you? What is this? In the name of Jesus, tell me over." So all this, like you said, it was a certain name, and I won't say its name right now, but it's like you said, a certain name. And we looked it up online, and that name was a medieval demon, right? And it was like, I was like, what? And then a few days later, an exorcism happened, and all this stuff happened. And then he went overseas and he found Jesus and got baptized, and we got baptized at a similar time on different sides of the world. And it was just this wild experience. And so, how do you describe that? How do you, from your understanding, do you believe in, dark spirits, light spirits, angels, demons? Is that the label, if you're not wanting to label it, but how do you, what happened in that moment? Can you help me understand it?
Well, we know that there was a war that took place, and then Lucifer was cast out, and the earth was claimed into an energy that was not of her divine origin, which she's now reclaimed back through all these shifts and changes, which is what's inviting such a rebirth for ourselves and a spiritual awakening, because her frequency is not in that same binary code of duality and separation. That's what we're awakening from. So, of course, when we have thought forms that are fearful or hateful, they manifest into actually physical form. And we know ourselves when we've felt really bad. We don't choose good things when we feel bad. And so a lot of us have made choices from fear of loss, from resentment, from, jealousy, rage, all that kind of stuff. Those are death codes. And they manifest. They're not codes of life. They're not life affirming. That's what I'm saying. They're death codes. So they allow energies. And we know that what we focus on, we create. What we focus on, we amplify and magnify to us. So if I have this feeling that I am cursed of the devil, what do you think is going to manifest within me? So our belief systems show us how powerful we are, because life is only there to bring to us, it magnetizes to us, because it doesn't decide for us, because we have free will. And so when we align our will and power with the divine will and power, with Mother, Father, God, Source, Universe, whatever you want to name it, that life force energy that is ruled by the law of love, then those things that we have identified with as devilish, dissolve, come to reveal themselves for who and what they truly are, and we can go, depart from me, I never knew you. Which we have those stories, those allegories in the Bible, that Jesus had those meetings of energies that would appear to be something that they weren't. And so these are the times in which we need to be aware of false light, those that are appearing to be something that they're not, because there is a great focus of lies and deception, because it's like we are being invited to reclaim our divine sovereignty and take full responsibility from being the creation and the creator of our reality and everything that we see magnified and manifested for us, to us, with us. So it's like, I'm not powerless. I'm not powerless. And so when these things come into us, we're space and energy. We're just molecules moving, and, we're more space. We think that we're dense because we're vibrating at a frequency that we appear dense. But if we look at ourselves under high-powered microscope, we're just these molecules and atoms moving in space and time. And so, which is not linear, but we allow ourselves to be permeable to those energies that want to hijack our bodies and to be a host, because we are a vibrational frequency match for that. Does that make sense?
It does. I think that last sentence there really helped me crystallize the concept of it, because I think, in movies or cartoons growing up or things, it's like, okay, well, a spirit is coming in, like Casper, the ghost or whatever, and Scooby-Doo and all these movies and cartoons growing up, ghosts were, or even horror movies, there were possessions and, things like that. So I think what you said there with, if everything's energy and what we think about, we amplify, as you said, and if we're so powerful that we can create love through what we focus on in our vibration, we can also create fear and the opposite. So, or loneliness and separation and, I guess, unity. So we can create both. It's a choice. And so what you're saying is that then at a certain frequency, if your brain and your body and emotions are focusing on the jealousy, the anger, the seduction, and all those different kind of lower vibrational frequencies, that changes our cellular atom makeup, our resonance, and then we'll attract. Do you mean like the spirit? Are there spirits, do you mean? Or they're like, is it a frequency at that frequency? Because I know that apparently we only see 1% of the light spectrum. So then that means there's 99% of reality that we don't see, radio waves, EMFs, all the different things. So is that what you're saying? Is that the frequency of my being, because of all these negative emotions, come low, and then we're more susceptible to be a host by entities?
Yes. And they actually become entities. Like I was in 2005, I was out in the Kimberleys, and the land out there is like, it's so pristine, and it's like, oh my gosh, we are not alone. And it was very clear direction. You cannot go here. The spirits won't allow you to go here, into these places. Your hair would start, standing up on end on your arm, and you would just like go, oh gosh, like just no, don't go. And then you'd have other places where you just get this cool, warm breeze blowing on you and everything, like, the breath of spirit and everything. And it was just like, this is the opening. But I was going in the underground water cave, and I got really scared. And we know that disembodied spirits, fear is their food. We feed the energy of discord and disharmony through fear, that we give them that food, that energetic food. And so something came onto me. And immediately I felt the shift in my energy. I felt cold, my head started to hurt, and it was just like, and I just felt unwell, and I just went, And I just said to my group, I said, something's happened. I just feel like something's on me. So we came out into the light, and one of the women in our group did a clearing on me, and she said, yeah, the fear has opened you up, your psychic gateway, which is at the back of your occipital, like at the base of your neck, is come into your space, has come in and come in to be a host. And so we know that when we, the reason why we're not invited to get, high on drugs and all that kind of stuff is not because it's like it opens our psychic gateway up for other things to come in that we're not consciously aware of. And then they get to use our body to do things that are of their agenda. And so it's like, and we know that people talk about when people that get drunk and everything, they're not themselves. They totally change and become a different person. So we know that happens. And so that's why we need to take care of our auric field and our energetic body. We need to have spiritual hygiene. We have to go, I'm setting my boundary at unconditional love. Nothing can enter in that is not aligned with that frequency, that vibration of pure divine love, where I'm innocent, I'm whole, I'm already free, nothing, I'm not lost.
So what happened when you went down the cave? What did you do?
I got cleared, just energetically cleared me, talked to me about and it's like in the darkness. So that was a metaphor in itself. It's like these things happen in like the darkness of fear. Fear contracts us, and it really limits who we see ourselves to be. And it keeps us recycling those death codes, because we go, I'm separate from life, I'm separate from love, I'm separate from infinite possibilities, I'm separate from abundance, I'm just connected to this pain and this suffering and this scary reality. And life then becomes an adversary that you resist and you fight against and you battle with. And then we wonder why we're so exhausted.
Gosh, there's so much I want to cover here, and I really appreciate you kind of connecting the dots here. I think this is really landing for me. Hopefully people at home. So like you mentioned, like they have an agenda. So let's say these spirits that are latching in, you mentioned the back of our head, and you mentioned, drugs and alcohol or certain emotions, if we're feeling them changing our frequency, will open up our aura. So like, what is their agenda?
Control. Control. It's always about control. It's always about, and we know, we see that reflected on the world stage, but we create from the inside out. So the world, our belief systems have created our current reality so we are seeing what this level of consciousness creates. War, like poverty is a created, manifested belief that occurs through separation and duality. So we are opening into bandwidths of love as we expand more into being that embodiment, that hologram of pure divine light that asks us to go beyond those belief systems that have us swinging in the extremes of duality. That's the middle way. So you can be in the storm, but you can still be centered, grounded, calm, and be absolutely in devotion to the calling of your soul and sharing the song of your heart while all this tumultuous stuff is happening around you. Because it's like, you know, we have all these examples that the avatars have left us, like Buddha and Jesus and you know, beautiful poets like Cahill Gibran. And it's like reminding us that underneath any uncertainty or fear, deep peace resides, undisturbed, uncorrupted, unchanged. So how can I keep reinforcing my internal foundation and acting from that unchanging, uncorruptible peace?
So can you say that again? How can I? It's a powerful question. I think that's really powerful.
How can I build an emotional foundation that doesn't get swayed, pulled into the extremes, that reveals to me that I am one with this unchanging, uncorruptible, unchanging peace?
Wow. That's so powerful. So if their agenda is control, and say through most of society, well, a great proportion of society drinks or does drugs or watching the news and they're in fear, how does someone know if they might be entertaining these hosts, you know, spirits or whatever? How can someone do a bit of a self-check? And then how can someone maybe go about clearing this?
Well, our bodies will tell us. We know, like, you know, I've never been one for like scary movies or anything like that because my body is like, it doesn't like being scared. It's like, because love is not scary and love doesn't hurt. And we have to all, you know, leave all those stories behind that has us keep reinforcing a false reality that love hurts, because as long as we continue to hold on to that in any extent, we are rejecting the essence of who and what we truly are. And we are rejecting how we dance with life, how we allow ourselves to be in that embrace with life and in our relationships with each other. So it's like where everything is chi, everything is life force. So whatever we are putting our attention onto, it's like those Pac-Mans. Like, this is what I'm eating. So right now I'm watching this horrific news thing and I'm using my life force, the Pac-Man. This is what I'm using to resource my energy. And so you are eating death.
Whoa, eating death. I think I've never heard those two words together. So you're saying by watching, and it's so graphic, and I'm laughing because it's so true. So you're saying the news are like Pac-Man eating your spirit or eating your love, and just, is that what you're saying?
Well, it's energy. So it's like, does this take me closer to knowing that I am this pure being of divine love, whole and innocent and already free? Because the message is that you're not free. You're not free. You have to do this. You have to obey this. You have to, like, you know, and it's like, those are man-made laws. They are made from artificial intelligence. We have laws that are universal laws, that are natural laws, that like transcend. And so this is why so many structures and systems are falling away, because they've been founded upon a false premise of fear, separation, duality, pain, suffering, death, control, powerlessness, needing a savior outside of ourselves, being punished. That is the antithesis of life. That is death codes. If you keep imbibing and, resourcing yourself from that, it's only going to bring you further dis-ease within your system and within your hologram. And then you just become a host. These things can't come in unless you create the space for them to come in. And when we realize this, we have to offer ourselves the cosmic ray of forgiveness, because we've all corrupted our own light. We've all misunderstood, that our souls is unafraid of change, of things not coming to completion, of dreams dissolving, that the mind and the ego was really attached to because I wanted to appear a certain way, because I was looking for external validation and to be adored, because I didn't see that already within myself. So really it's a total letting go of that external window dressing.
And so so the question is now, it's like, okay, if maybe someone's sick, or they've got some kind of mental discomfort, or they've got pain in their body, or they keep attracting certain people or experiences, and that really keep depleting their energy field or depleting their life, and they feel like they're really stuck. Like, what's the answer? Prayer, right? Like, what's the way?
Love.
Love
is always the way. That's the most powerful force because everything responds and comes from love. But we have distorted what that is, and we have corrupted what that is. And so it's coming back to going pure, whole, innocent, pure, whole, innocent. In this moment, whatever is occurring within in life, because we're not separate from life. I'm not me having this life. Life is living itself in and through me as an expression of life. So not even going into that kind of separation, which is like the mind can't get this. It's a heart awakening. As you think in your heart, so are you. It's not a thinking, because there's the heart is heart-brain coherence. So it's allowing the mind to have the same knowing as our hearts, to be in alignment with the same knowing, the same awareness. So there's not that split. Otherwise, you're kind of acting like you're schizophrenic. You're getting pulled in different directions. Because this is really strong. We've developed this and reinforced this a very, very long time, this artificial intelligence. Because the heart's way is surrendering, allowing, trusting in the unknown without evidence. And that's faith. And that's where we get to see how wondrous creators we are, because everything that is in our lives right in this moment, everything that we are surrounded with, we have drawn into our vortex of creation that has been a vibrational match to our beliefs about who am I. And so when we see, like, I was excommunicated from the church and I was homeless and on the street. And my saving grace was that I knew how to be of service to others. That was my saving grace. And so that's what I did. And I went, I know how to love. I know how to be kind. I know how to be generous. I'm just going to do more of that, even though my heart was broken and everything that I'd known up until that moment, like that gave me a sense of safety and security in the world, was just gone and exploded overnight. And all these meetings took place in the darkness, in the night, behind closed doors. That's how fear operates. That's how fear operates. It wants to elude that it has greater power than what it actually does. It doesn't operate in the fullness of, of the light of awareness. Because if it did, it would know that love also embraces it unconditionally. That's why love can be fearless. Pure divine love can be fearless.
Pure divine love can be fearless. I love it. I love it. So you were kicked out of the church,
Mm-hmm.
and you're homeless, and you
Mm-hmm.
found that by helping others and contributing, that was the saving grace.
Yes, but I carried that misperception because they prayed over me, and this is what I call as a curse. This is death codes. When people, and it's like we're told that we're either speaking blessings into our lives and the lives of others, or we're cursing our lives and the lives of others through our words. And so as the powers that be gathered around me, they prayed over me and said that I'd misunderstood God's will for my life. And that had me question things for a very, very long time. And also to have that, and I'm still having trouble speaking about it, which is so funny. But that's, that's bringing greater awareness and allowing that truth to be spoken and to be embraced in that loving awareness, because it's just innocent ignorance.
Mm.
It's innocent ignorance. And so it's like what I perceived to be life judging me as and treating me as was not true. And I lived that, that mistruth for quite some time. And I kept attracting people, places, things that would play out that story of rejection and abandonment.
Mm.
So, until I could really see it as an act of grace, an act of liberation. That's like, your soul can't be free here. This isn't loving to be in this environment. Don't throw pearls to swine, and shake your dust off your feet and walk away. Walk away, because you have to allow people to have their reality, to have their own process of awakening. It's not mine to change or to save them from, but also I have the free will to live in the world of life, love, and spirit, which is beautiful, harmonious, peaceful, generous, and aligned with truth and freedom.
I love it. Truth and freedom. All about it. All about it. It's been so insightful and so reassuring and so so supportive chatting with you about this and you to share all these concepts and the truth of what all these things are. So I love that. I really appreciate this. We're going to wrap it up in a minute, but love to have you back another time. And
I'd love that. That would be wonderful to have another love fest.
That's it. And so, any final comments or, we've covered so much here. I wasn't even expecting this to go this way, but of course it's going this way. And it's beautiful. It's really nice that this is organically just kind of showed up. And I think it's so important to have this conversation and always coming back to love, and anything that separated us from the belief that we are not enough or not lovable or, I don't have enough to give or whatever it is, these like limitations, not smart enough, all these different things, I think, they definitely rule the mind, and that creates our reality. But if we can come back, as you said, love is fearless, love is courageous, love is healing, love is everything. That's the answer for sure. So
yes,
of course.
Yes.
We've covered so much. You spoke about your story of how you were kicked out of the church. You spoke about our aura opening and becoming open to these other entities based on our frequency. You spoke about so many different components here, and then how to kind of recheck ourselves and reheal ourselves and kind of get back to our truth, which is limitless, and it's joyous. So I love that. I'm just thinking out loud right now. It's just great to take this all in. I love to listen to this back and really soak up the insights you have. But are there any, I guess, final comments you'd like to share around this topic? Kind of cap it off for people at home.
Well, we're all on the ride together, but we get to, and, we're not in control, we're not in charge. There is this benevolent life force energy that is just all loving and all generous and all giving. And we get to choose through our beliefs and where we engage our hearts and our energy, how we're going to experience the ride. We get to choose. We're all on the ride. Everyone's going to experience the ride differently, but that's our point of power, is at choice. So it's like, okay, this is unfolding. These changes, these shiftings are happening. The new earth is birthing. So what do I want to align myself to and with? Do I want to be that force, that vehicle for limitless love and action? Or do I want to keep aligning with a story that love hurts and to keep creating with artificial intelligence?
So interesting. I think you've touched upon a couple of things here, the artificial intelligence and the hologram. So maybe you can just quickly kind of help unpack that for people. So what do you mean by artificial intelligence? And what do you mean by the hologram? Because you mentioned that as the frequency of what we are.
Well, artificial intelligence is things that we believe to be true that aren't aligned with the infinite intelligence of Source Creator. So we're believing in an intelligence that is artificial. It's not life affirming, it's life negating. It's disconnected from the heart, it's disconnected from spirit. It's disembodied. It's not embodied, which is our hologram of, light, is to be that full embodiment, multidimensionally. And that's what we're awakening to, because we've just been lost in our heads, and we're seeing that we're so much more as these spiritual beings having a human experience. We're awakening to hold different bandwidths of frequency of love within us. And it's like when we open to greater spaces and places of love within us, where we've kept ourselves in the darkness and we've not allowed love to penetrate or permeate through, we expand and we connect more of this overwhelming joy and beauty. And it's like, we can't put it into words. It's like, it's this frequency. It's I am presence. I am presence. I dwell, I rest in the sacred heart of Mother, Father, God. All is well, all is well, all is well.
Amazing. And then the hologram, do you mean like a computer hologram, like a simulation hologram? Or is it,
it's like we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. Everything that I see outside of me is within me. That's a trip. Like, I go out and I see the galaxies, I go out and see all the stars in the sky, and it's like, oh, that's already within me. I'm seeing that from the inside out. Yes. All of nature is already within me. I only can see it because it's already resides within this hologram, this blueprint of the universe that I carry within me, because I'm not this dense entity.
Yeah. Life is a trip. Life is a trip.
It's a glorious, wondrous ride. And it's like, but it's our choice. Life will never force us. We have free will. We have free will. And it's like, is it my will or is it thy will be done?
Is it my will or thy will be done? Oh, that's so powerful. I like that. That's so powerful. So thank you so much. You have definitely touched my mind and my heart, and I'm sure people at home, please reach out to Sandy at your website, which is soundsoftheheart.com.au. That's soundsoftheheart.com.au. Anywhere else they can find you, or is your website?
You can just find me on Facebook, Sandy Grace Goldstone, and it will have my phone number there that you can contact me on. Like, spirit will lead you. Like, that's what, the laws of vibration. It's like, we don't have to go looking and seeking. We naturally become that vortex of magnetization. We become that magnetic presence. So everything is in alignment for us. That is for our highest good, will just naturally find us. Wow. So even the seeking stops. We just be in presence, and everything becomes that vibrational frequency and match and magnetizes to us without us having to do anything. Just by being love, I am. Yeah.
Love, I am, that I am. Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time, Sandy.
Thank you.
See you very soon.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. Much love, much blessings. Bye.